Yeah.
Um, we're gonna ask it in context of the concept of Da Torah and Gedulim, which has pretty much become the norm in Haredi Judaism today. I'll read the question. The influence of Haredi leaders often hinges on the concepts of Gedulim and Da Torah. The idea that Torah scholars have the ultimate authority in all matters, even beyond halacha. Do you believe these concepts are consistent with Torah values? What are your thoughts on the role and interpretation of these ideas within the Haredi community? And if you could also tie this in with the major idea and work of your father, Horizontal Society, which is really goes hand in hand with this question.
Yeah. Um, Let me start with the first part of the question. In Judaism, the ultimate source of authority as a Jew, as Jews, we know that Moshe Rabbeinu was the Shaliach of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. He was God's representative to the Jewish people, and he was the representative of the Jewish people to God. And we know that God spoke the Torah to Moshe Rabbeinu. We know this not because somebody told us. We know this not because we made some sort of inductive or deductive reasoning. We know this because when HaKadosh Baruch Hu spoke to Moshe Rabbeinu, we experienced that speech, right? The pasuk says, "Hine anochi ba elecha be'av he'anan, ba'abur yishma ha'am bedaberi imach, ve'gam becha ya'aminu le'olam." This is the ultimate pasuk in defining the source of authority. Says God to Moshe Rabbeinu, I am now going to appear to you in the thick fog or cloud. Of course, the Shekhinah doesn't just appear, so there's an Anan, right? Be'amud Anan Yedaber Alehem. We know other Nevi'im had the Zechut where the Shekhinah descended and it came in the form of an Anan because you can't see the Shekhinah in that sense. Why am I doing this? I want the Jewish people to hear when I speak with you. I want them to experience me speaking with you. And why? Because when they experience this, they would have had a direct experience of God speaking to Moshe. And therefore, they have no doubt. We have no doubt. The nation as a nation experience God speaking to Moshe Rabbeinu. So the ultimate source of authority is Moshe. Only Moshe and no one else but Moshe has the right to speak in the name of God and say, these are the Taryag Misvot. These are the 613 Misvot. You may never subtract and you may never add and you may never modify the misvot as a representative of God, meaning of God. You can't say, oh, until now we were praying once a day. God told me that from now on we have to be praying thrice a day. You can't do that. You cannot modify the Torah because the Torah was given to Moshe Rabbeinu. We experience God speaking to Moshe Rabbeinu, and any deoraita law comes exclusively and solely from Moshe Rabbeinu. This is the foundation of all of Judaism. So any authority other than Moshe Rabbeinu is a secondary authority. What does that mean? By secondary authority, we mean as follows: that while Moshe Rabbeinu gave us the deoraita laws, right? Harambam refers to this as the usul. In Arabic, uses the word usul, like it's like you have a tree, and the tree has the trunk. It's a stable. It never changes, but the trunk has many branches. That's called the furu. The furu is like the offshoots of the tree. So the usul comes from Moshe Rabbeinu. That never changes. And nobody can give us another usul. Nobody can come and say, you know what, God spoke to me. I had a dream. I'm an Navi, an angel spoke to me. We don't care. We don't care. I mean, it's nice. If somebody has a dream, it's great. I have dreams all the time. I don't mean that facetiously. I have dreams of Torah all the time. As much as I love these dreams and I'm very enamored of myself having these dreams, I recognize that this is not a source of law, right? Meaning, I'm not going to wake up in the morning and tell my wife, honey, you have to pray 4 times a day. I just saw that in a dream. No, it's meaningless from the perspective of authority, of meaning me becoming an authority as to what the Torah says or doesn't say. My dreams, my intuition, my greatness, or somebody else's dreams or somebody else's greatness is not relevant to the question of authority. So there is primary authority lies with Moshe Rabbeinu. Secondary authority, that lies with the judicial and legislative body of the Jewish people, which is known as the Sanhedrin or the Beit Din HaGadol. We don't always have a Sanhedrin of 71. That was in the Lishkat HaGazit in the Beit HaMikdash. Later on, the Beit HaMikdash was destroyed, so we had a Beit Din HaGadol. And this authority is a secondary authority. It is created by the Torah in Perashat Shofetim explicitly. So they have authority, but that authority derives from the 613 Mitzvot that Moshe Rabbeinu gave us, right? So nobody reaches the level of Moshe Rabbeinu. Now, if the Sanhedrin or the Beit Din HaGadol makes a Pesach Halacha, they can make a Gezerah, a decree, a Takana, they can make a Minhag. There's many things that Beit Din HaGadol can do. Of course, they cannot undo anything that Moshe Rabbeinu gave us, but in the furu, in the branches, they can make new rules. I'll give you an example. Just so you see where I'm coming from. The Moshe Rabbeinu told us, Zachor et Yom HaShabbat lekadesho. Okay, remember the Shabbat or declare. Usually, Zachor in Jewish thinking is to say something, right? To make a declaration about a past event, right? So make a declaration. Hachamim say, Zochrehu al hayayin. They can do that. They have the authority. They have the authority to interpret Zachor that was given to us by Moshe Rabbeinu. Moshe Rabbeinu didn't give us too many details as to how we make that declaration. The Hachamim said we want to explain this. That's called the Din Mufla. You're going to be making that declaration on a cup of wine. Okay, they can do that. You understand? Now, as far as individuals, do individuals have any authority as such? The answer is an individual has authority to the extent that he's telling you what the halacha is, meaning no individual has the right to make up laws. No individual can say, the halacha is like this because I said so, because I'm greater than you, because I'm smarter than you. That's not the way Judaism works. We love smart people. We love great people, of course, needless to say. But the Jewish system works as follows. You either are founded on the primary authority of Moshe Rabbeinu, the secondary authority of the Sanhedrin, acting as the legislative and judicial body of the Jewish people, or there's no authority. So, for example, in my opinion, we shouldn't have fish and chips. I think fish and chips shouldn't go together. One is negative energy, the other is positive energy. The fish is fried in oil and the chips is fried in oil. Okay, fine. It's a nice idea that we have mixed the negative and the positive and you destroy the world. Okay, maybe I'm right. Maybe the world will get destroyed, but I have no authority as an individual to create a law that wasn't given to us either by the Sanhedrin or by Moshe Rabbeinu. Right? So, and even if I'm great, even if I'm the greatest person alive, I'm the smartest person, the greatest person alive, I can stick a needle through the Talmud and I'll tell you exactly, stop the needle. Okay, you're on the word Amam now. And you open it up and there it is right there, the word Amam. That's where the needle stopped. That's very impressive. But that's not the basis for authority. You understand? So this is an important point. I think I don't need to say more on that particular topic unless you want me to address it. There's a other second part of the question. Before I get to the second part of the question, I just want to see whether you have any follow-ups.
Well, what people will say today is that, like you mentioned the individual, but what people will say is, well, the majority today think a certain way, and the majority rules is no longer applicable. So I think that's something that needs to be kind of clarified.
Meaning, if the entire religious Jewish world have embraced this way of hierarchy or way of doing things,
The Das Torah.
Das Torah, then who are we to come and now,
Yeah, we're just a minority opinion.
how could you say this? How could have not, I'm not gonna say a name, but let's say, how can this Gadol have not known what you're saying right now?
Right. Okay. I mean, let's unpack it in a few different directions. So first of all, the fact that everybody says something or everybody does something is irrelevant. It either conforms with the halacha or it doesn't conform with the halacha. The basis for Jewish law and for Jewish behavior is what the halacha says. It's not what everyone does. There is no basis for the idea that because everybody says something, we must do it. The pasuk Acharei Rabim lehatot means very simply that when you have the Sanhedrin, there could be a disagreement in the Sanhedrin. They're going to have a vote and they're going to do a majority vote. It doesn't mean that if you have another 35 Amnei Haaretz who don't know halacha, that they all think that we have to turn the back to the Hechal during Lecha Dodi, that we have to turn the back to the Hechal during Lecha Dodi. I mean, that's just ignorance, right? So I'll give you a great example in halacha. Harambam brings the following law in Hilchot Matanot